He doesn't smile. Not at the barista, not at the regulars, not at me. So why do his eyes pause when I walk in, like a door almost held open? The bell over the counter gives a bright little ring. I balance a cardboard box on my hip and a tray of sample tarts in my other hand. Cinnamon hangs in the air. Fresh grounds hiss behind the espresso machine. The place hums. Wooden counter, mismatched mugs, the tiny chalkboard where my name, Lily's Bakes, is written in careful looping letters. He sits at the corner table, the same one every afternoon, back to the wall like a soldier guarding a secret. Square hands, work rough knuckles wrapped around a black coffee, dark t-shirt, clean but paint-flecked. The kind of man who builds things and trusts very little that he didn't build himself. I set the box on the counter and miss the edge by an inch. It thumps. A tart slides, wobbles, and no, lands upside down on the wood. "Welcome back, sunshine," says Mia from the machine, laughing with her eyes. "You okay there?" "I'm rehearsing my grand opening act," I say, flipping the tart right side up and accepting a napkin. "Slapstick pastry, very avant-garde." From the corner table, a glance. Quick, assessing, gone, but not before it brushes heat up my neck. Mia angles her head toward him. "You know Jack?" "Only as a myth. The man who defeated the almond croissant by staring at it." "He's harmless. Grumpy, but he fixes everything. Shelves, stools, my sanity. Grumpy I can handle." I take a breath. People who don't try my lemon curd? Unforgivable. I carry a plate toward the tables, smile locked and ready. My heart taps too fast. This is what I wanted. Small town, small room, big leap. No committee, no boss meetings, just me, flour, sugar, and the hope I am not a walking joke with a whisk. His table arrives before my courage does. "Hi," I say cheerfully, setting down the plate like a peace treaty. "I'm doing samples. New baker. I brought bribes." He looks at the plate, then at me. The eyes are cooler than I expect, and steadier. A light gray that says, "Don't waste my time." He doesn't even pretend to smile. "No thanks," he says. "Oh, but it's free," I try, softening my voice. "And edible." Still no. "Okay," I regroup. "What if I told you it's a recipe I've been perfecting for 6 months, and my landlord is emotionally attached to the lease I just signed, and my mother has already told all her friends she's proud of me, and I'm not totally sure I can live up to any of this unless a stranger with paint on his hands says, 'Good lemon.'" The corner of his mouth twitches, almost. He catches it and shudders it. "That your pitch?" It's my day one panic, but yes. I hold the plate steady. Just one bite. He studies me like a puzzle that might explode. Then his gaze drops to my hands. Sugar dust on my fingers, a tiny burn scar near my thumb. Evidence. Work. He sighs. The kind that isn't rude, more like surrender without flag waving. And picks up the tart. A small bite. Chew. Silence. My ribs hold their breath. "Well," I say. "Lemon's balanced." He sets it down. Crust could be colder before baking. The honesty hits like fresh air and a bruise at once. "You bake?" "Would," he says, "but I know what cold butter does." Ah, a man of science. He lifts his cup. A man who likes his coffee quiet. Right, the rule. I feel it slide into place between us. No fuss, no chatter, no sunshine. A boundary as clean as a carpenter's line. Understood. I start to lift the plate. Thanks for the note. Keep the recipe, he says. I was planning to. I mean, keep this one. Don't change it because I said so. My smile pushes through on instinct. So you liked it. He stares at the table. I said the lemon's balanced, which is Baker code for liked it. I tuck the win into my chest like a warm coin. I'm Lily. He doesn't offer his name. I glance at Mia, who mouths Jack behind his back and winks. Nice to meet you, Jack, I say, saying it for both of us. He raises his cup a quarter inch. Not a toast, an acknowledgement. Then his focus snaps back to the notebook beside his coffee. A grid of measurements, angles, notes in hard block letters. The man builds thoughts like staircases. I step back, pulse settling, and nearly collide with the storage door. The top shelf inside the closet is bare, my future home for boxes of flour, sugar, the packaging I agonized over for 3 nights. Shelves, I think. I need actual shelves, not my current strategy of stack and pray. Problem? Mia asks. Just logistics. I ordered steel brackets, but the wall hates them. Ask Jack. She drops 2 saucers with the grace of a magician. He's here half the week working on orders. He knows this building better than anyone. I glance toward the corner. The jaw, the focus, the very light gray eyes, now flatly married to the page. I can't ask him for a favor after forcing sugar on him. You didn't force, you coaxed. There's a difference. Mia slides me a look. Also, I already asked him for you. What? He said yes. When? 2 minutes ago with his eyebrows. Trust me. The bell rings again. 2 teenagers tumble in, all energy and bracelets. I move to the counter and plate more samples. The rhythm steadies me. Swirl, cut, press, dust. This is the part I understand. Feed people and they feel something. The part I don't, be taken seriously while doing it. A shadow falls across the prep station. Not the weather kind, the human kind, tall and quiet. You fighting with the wall? He asks. I'm negotiating. It's winning. Show me. In the narrow storage space, the paint peels and strips where I tested brackets. He runs a thumb along the plaster, checks the studs with 2 precise knuckles, listens. He doesn't explain what he's doing, he just knows. Competence hums off him like heat from a kiln. You can't anchor here. Bad patching job. If you put weight there, you'll pull the whole section. So, no shelves? So, different shelves. He taps lower, nods. I'll bring a solution tomorrow. Tomorrow? The word escapes brighter than I intend. I'm in town for a delivery. I'll cut something in the shop tonight. You don't even know my budget. He meets my eyes for the first full second since the tart. It isn't unkind. It's cautious. Do you want me to build them or not? I feel my mouth open, then close. There's that old voice. Don't be too much. Don't need too much. Don't ask. I swallow it. Yes, I say. I want you to. He nods once. I'll need measurements. I hand him the scribbled page from my notebook, embarrassed by the hearts I drew in the margins to calm my nerves earlier. He doesn't comment. He folds the paper cleanly, tucks it into his notebook, and turns to go. Jack? He pauses. Thank you for the lemon honesty and the shelf rescue. A beat, the smallest lift of his chin. Then he's gone, the corner table reclaiming him like a tide that isn't water, more like routine. I lean against the doorframe, heart thudding with a strange, fizzy mix of pride, relief, a sliver of curiosity I'm not sure I have permission to feel. He likes quiet. I am noise. He builds things. I build sweetness. He doesn't smile. But when he said tomorrow, something shifted in my chest, like a latch clicking open. Maybe I'm not here to be liked. Maybe
I'm here to be seen. And maybe, he already did.
The next morning, the cafe smells like ground beans and fresh croissants, but under it all, I catch a whiff of something sharper: wood shavings. He's already here. Jack Mercer, tools stacked neatly beside him, like an extension of his body. He doesn't look up when I enter, doesn't greet me, just nods at the wall behind the counter, where my sad pile of flour bags lean against cracked plaster. "Studs are solid here," he says. No preamble, no good morning. I drop my tote by the counter, trying not to sound too bright. "So the wall and I are done fighting?" "You were fighting gravity. You lost." He marks a line with a pencil, precise, like gravity itself listens to him. I watch the way his hand moves, steady, no hesitation. Competence radiates off him, and it unsettles me more than his gruffness. Competence means he doesn't need anyone. And I've spent half my life hoping to be needed. I lean against the counter. "You always this chatty?" He shoots me a glance. Gray eyes, flat as slate. "You always this noisy?" There's a sting there, but I refuse to flinch. I grin instead. Noise keeps the universe awake. Universe looked fine asleep. Banter. Short, clipped, but banter. A corner of me thrills at it. He can spar. I crouch to unpack my new pastry boxes, the ones I stayed up folding until 2 a.m. "So, what do I owe you for this rescue mission?" "Nothing." "Nothing?" "I don't take payment in baked goods." He slides a bracket into place, the metal catching the light. I hold up a tart like a peace flag. "What about experimental pastries? Today's test subject, lavender honey." He doesn't even glance at it. "No still." My smile falters for half a second, then I force it steady. This is my role. Sunshine, even when clouds push back. "You know, one day you'll run out of ways to say no, and then where will you be?" "Quiet," he says. "Blissfully quiet." The drill roars to life, echoing against tile. My chest jumps at the sudden sound. He studies the board against the wall, arm taut, the scent of sawdust curling through the cafe. I shouldn't notice the way his shirt clings across his shoulders. I shouldn't notice the forearm flex as he drives the screw in one clean motion. But I do. And when he finally steps back, shelves solid and straight as a horizon line, pride swells in my chest as if I built them myself. "They'll hold," he says. I run my palm along the smooth wood, feeling the faint warmth from his hands. "They're perfect." Something flickers across his face. Not pride, not quite. More like he's surprised I said it like it mattered. I look up at him. Daring, maybe reckless. "You don't hate doing this, admit it." He wipes the sawdust from his fingers, turning away. "I don't hate carpentry." That's not what I asked. He freezes, just long enough for me to catch it. A tiny hesitation, a crack in the armor. Then his voice returns, flat, steady. "Don't read into things, Sunshine." He packs his tools with surgical precision, each one sliding into place, and just like that, he's retreating. But I felt it. A slip, a warmth he doesn't want me to see. And I know, with the stubborn certainty that's gotten me in trouble my whole life, that he'll be back. By the third day, the shelves feel like they've always belonged. My boxes line up neatly, jars of jam catching the morning light. Customers drift in, curious, kind, even when they mispronounce pot sucré. But I keep one ear turned toward the corner table. His corner. Jack sits there again. Same black coffee, same notebook full of lines and numbers. He hasn't touched a single tart since day one, yet he always leaves a faint trail of sawdust when he walks in, as if the world can't quite scrub him clean. When Mia slips into the back, I decide, fine, I'll bring the battle to him. I grab a plate,
set down a lemon shortbread beside his cup, and fold my arms. You don't have to eat it. Just let it live near you for 5 minutes. Exposure therapy. He doesn't look up. I didn't order this. You didn't order the shelves either, but there they are. His pencil stills. Finally, his eyes lift, and they're sharper up close. Gray, cool, but not empty. You always push like this? Only when people pretend they don't want something they clearly need. He leans back in his chair, studies me the way you'd study a blueprint. And what do I clearly need? I should back off. I don't. Maybe proof not everyone leaves. The words hang there, heavier than I meant them to. His jaw works once, like I've caught him off guard. Silence stretches. Then quietly, people always leave sunshine. That's the rule. It's the first time his voice carries something other than steel, a fault line buried deep. I lower my arms, softer now. Maybe some people just stay, even when it's messy. He exhales through his nose, not quite a laugh, not quite a dismissal. You're very sure of yourself. I'm very sure of sugar and butter. People, not so much, but I'm willing to bet on this one. I nudge the shortbread closer. Come on, just a bite. His fingers hover over the cookie, hesitating like the act costs something. Then he breaks it in half, pops a piece into his mouth. Silence again. My heart thunders. Finally, he says, "Too much vanilla." I laugh louder than I should. That's your verdict after I practically risked my dignity for this? His mouth almost twitches. Again, that almost smile, like sunlight fighting to break through a closed window. I didn't ask you to risk anything. Maybe I wanted to. The words spill out before I can stop them. His gaze catches mine. Steady, unreadable, but I swear something shifts. Then the bell above the door rings, and the spell breaks. He looks down at his notebook, back to lines and angles. But I've seen it. A crack. And I know I'll spend the rest of the day wondering what might spill through if I press again.
The cafe closes late that night. Mia's gone, the lights dimmed to a golden hush. It's just me, a stack of flour bags, and Jack, who stayed behind to adjust the brackets on the lowest shelf. He doesn't explain why. He doesn't have to. Maybe the shelves didn't really need adjusting. Maybe he just didn't leave. I'm kneeling on the floor, tucking boxes into their new home, when his arm brushes mine. Not a bump, a graze. Barely there, but it zings through me like static, sharp and sweet. I freeze. He doesn't. His focus stays on the drill, steady, unbothered. "Sorry," I murmur. "You're in the way," he says. Quiet, not cruel. I shuffle back, but the storage room is too narrow. My shoulder still grazes his every time I reach for a box. It becomes a rhythm. Clumsy, unintentional, intimate. "Do you ever get tired of it?" I ask to fill the silence. He doesn't look at me. Of what? Being the wall. Untouchable, unbothered, too solid for anyone to lean on. The drill stops. He sets it down, slow. Turns his head finally and pins me with that gray gaze. "You think I don't get tired?" His voice is low, almost rough. "You think it's easy?" I swallow hard. "I think you're lonely." The words hang, reckless. His jaw tightens, his eyes shudder. For a moment, I think he'll walk out. Instead, he steps closer, too close, crowding the air between us. "You don't know me." "Then let me." My whisper is softer than I intend. The silence after is thick, pressing against my skin. His breath is warm, close enough that if I leaned forward half an inch, I don't.
He doesn't. The pull is there, unbearable, but he shoves it back, retreating with a sharp scrape of the tool bag against the floor. This is a mistake, he mutters, and just like that, he's gone. I stand alone in the dim light, my pulse sprinting, hands trembling over a box of sugar. A mistake. Maybe, but the kind of mistake that feels like the start of something I can't unfeel. The next morning, I swear I won't think about it. The brush of his arm, the heat of his breath, the way he walked out like I was a door he couldn't bear to open. But of course, I do. Every bite I plate, every bag I tie, every laugh I fake with customers, he's there in the corner of my mind. And then he's there in the cafe, too. Same table, same notebook, same coffee, like last night never happened. I bring him his order without asking. My hand shakes only a little as I set it down. On the house, I say. I didn't ask, I finish for him with a smile that feels brittle. I know. You don't ask, you build. You leave, you drink coffee black. His eyes lift. For once, I don't see steel. I see hesitation. I sit across from him before I can second guess it. Customers murmur in the background, the hiss of the machine filling the silence. You don't have to talk, just sit with me for a minute. He exhales, leans back, and lets it happen. That in itself feels like a miracle. The notebook lies between us. Blueprints, angles, cuts, a fortress made of numbers. My hand itches to flip it open. Instead, I say softly, "Who taught you?" His jaw tightens. "The way you build, someone must have shown you." For a long beat, nothing. Then, in a voice like gravel, "My father," before he left. The words hit like a hammer in my chest. Not cruel, just bare. A confession dragged out of hiding. "I'm sorry," I whisper. He shakes his head. "Don't be. Taught me enough to survive. That's what mattered." I want to reach across the table, close the space with touch, but I don't. Instead, I say, surviving isn't the same as living. His gaze locks on mine, sharp, almost wounded. "And you live?" The question slices through me. I want to say, yes, I live. Look at my bakery, my laughter, my endless cheer. But the truth is there, raw and humiliating. Sometimes, I admit. Sometimes I just perform. If I'm bright enough, maybe people won't notice I'm scared of being invisible. The silence between us shifts. Not heavy now. Honest. Two truths laid bare like matching scars. He closes the notebook, a gesture so small but louder than words. For the first time, he's here, fully, without walls. And for the first time, I don't feel like sunshine bouncing off stone. I feel like I've been let into the shadow where light actually matters. The cafe is quiet after closing, chairs stacked, lights low, the hum of the fridge the only sound left. I should be cleaning, but instead, I linger by the counter, tracing circles in spilled flour. He's still here, Jack, at his corner table, notebook shut, hands loose around an empty cup. No tools tonight, no shelves, no excuse. Just him, just me. "Do you ever sleep?" I ask. My voice sounds too loud in the hush. He glances up, eyes tired but steady. "Do you ever stop talking?" I grin, though my chest tightens. "Fair, but you didn't answer." He shrugs, gaze sliding away. "Work's easier than sleep." Something about that lands heavy, like a stone in my ribs. I walk over before I can stop myself. "Stay," I say. "Just for a little. No work, no running." He doesn't move as I slide into the chair across from him. The silence between us is thick, but not empty. It hums.
You shut people out, I say softly, and you barge in. His voice is quiet, almost a warning. Maybe because I see what's behind the door. His jaw tenses, but he doesn't deny it. I lean closer, elbows on the table. My pulse races. I've seen you smile once. That gets him, a flicker. His lips twitch, almost against his will. That's why I don't. It gives you hope. And what's so wrong with hope? His voice drops rough. Because I can't give you what you want. I swallow hard. My body leans in before my brain can stop it. Then why are you still here? The air changes, dense, electric. He doesn't step back, doesn't break the stare. His hand shifts on the table, close enough that if I moved an inch, the door creaks open. Mia's voice floats in, calling goodnight as she grabs her keys. Jack jerks back like the moment burned him. He stands too fast, chair scraping. This can't happen. And then he's gone, leaving me alone with a heart that feels split wide open. I pressed my palms to the table, breath unsteady. A mistake, he'll call it again. But it didn't feel like a mistake. It felt inevitable.
The next day, he doesn't come. Or the day after. His absence scrapes at me worse than his silence ever did. At least when he sat in the corner, I could pretend the quiet meant something, that it was presence, not rejection. Now it's just gone. By the third evening, I can't take it anymore. I lock up early, march across town, and find his workshop by following the sound. Low, steady, relentless. The buzz of a saw. Inside, sawdust floats in the air like golden smoke. The smell of pine and varnish clings to everything. He's bent over a beam, sweat darkening his shirt, every line of him taut with work and avoidance. 3 days, I say, louder than I mean to. You vanish for 3 days. He stiffens, sets the saw down but doesn't turn. Busy. Busy running. I snap. That gets him. He straightens, shoulders broad, jaw locked. I told you, this can't happen. Why? My voice cracks, sharp and aching. Because you're afraid of me or of yourself? His gray eyes slice into mine. Because if I let you in, you'll leave. They all do. The words slam into me, raw and jagged, his misbelief laid bare at last. I step closer, heart hammering. I'm not them. You can't promise that. No, I admit, softer now, trembling. But I can promise this. I see you, and I'm still here. Silence. His breath shudders. His fists clench at his sides. He looks like a man at war with himself, torn between bolting and breaking. You don't get it, he mutters. Wanting someone, needing someone, it's weakness. Weakness gets you abandoned. I take another step until I can feel the heat of him, smell the cedar clinging to his skin. Needing someone isn't weakness, Jack. It's human, and you're allowed to be human with me. For a heartbeat, the air is unbearable, thick, charged, desperate. His eyes search mine like they're begging for a lie, something to prove me wrong. But I don't lie. I just stay. And for the first time, I see it. His armor cracking, splintering under the weight of his own longing. I should have walked away, left him in that workshop with his sawdust and silence. But I don't. I stand there, chest heaving, waiting for him to either shove me out or pull me closer. He does neither. He just stares, like he's searching for proof I'll shatter if he lets me near. Finally, I whisper, "Say it. Say you don't want me. and I'll go. His jaw works, his throat flexes, but no words come. That's what I thought, I breathe. I turn, ready to retreat before the sting in my eyes betrays me. My hand barely brushes the doorframe when his voice hits me, low and rough. Lily, don't. I freeze. Slowly, I face him again. He's not grumpy now, not guarded, just undone. His hands flex at his sides, like he's fighting himself. I don't know how to do this, he admits, voice breaking. I don't know how to need someone without losing them. My throat tightens. I step back toward him, cautious, steady, then don't figure it out alone. For a long, suspended moment, it's just breath and heartbeat, his and mine, tangled in the thick scent of cedar and pine. Then finally he moves, one step, then another, until he's close enough that I can see the crack in his armor for what it really is, a door. His hand lifts, hesitates in midair before brushing against my cheek, gentle, trembling. You scared the hell out of me, he whispers. Good, because you terrify me too. And then he kisses me, not cautious, not calculated, just raw, desperate, the way a man kisses when he's been holding it back too long. The world tilts, my hands fists in his shirt, pulling him closer as if I can anchor both of us against the fear we've carried for years. When he finally pulls back, his forehead rests against mine. His breath is uneven, his voice rough, but certain. I don't want you to walk away. Not now, not ever. Tears sting, but I laugh anyway, soft and shaky. So much for quiet coffee. He huffs a broken laugh of his own, and in that sound, in his unguarded, imperfect laugh, I know I've found it. Not a mistake, not a rule, not survival. Something better, something chosen. Us.